Jason Fitz with Yahoo Sports, hanging out with Olympian Allyson Felix. You never get that title. It's never former Olympian. Once you're an Olympian, you're always an Olympian. The trials are done for track and field. And Allyson, I'm excited to talk to you about this because the team's been formed. So as we look back at the trials, to you, what was the biggest surprise that you saw?
Ooh, there were a lot of good surprises. I think the biggest, I love seeing Masai Russell win the 100-meter hurdles for the women. She ran 12:25. She set a trials record, and she had been, not as consistent since she graduated from college, but she really showed up. And the team that we're sending in the 100 hurdles, they're really all stars.
When you're watching it and you're thinking total domination, the best performance to you was?
Without a doubt, it was Sydney in the hurdles. Sid is just racing the clock. I mean, she is taking this event, to places that we have never seen, and she dominated the whole race like everybody knew she would. So I think we're excited to see, where she takes it in Paris.
It's interesting to me because the last time we talked, you talked a lot about understanding how to give enough in this, but also save some in the tank for Paris. Did you feel like the team had that little balance this time?
I do. I think a lot of people, were very strategic about how they ran trials. They did what they needed to do to get on the team, and then they will go back to training. They'll start to taper. And I think we're going to see even faster times in Paris. And then you had people who, they ran PBs and they had performances that were far and above where they normally were. And that's what is special about trials. It brings out this incredible part of you that you haven't seen before. So, they're going to look for even faster times, but they've already been pushing their bodies to the limit.
But trials also bring heartbreak and disappointment, obviously, for anyone that doesn't get to make the Olympic team. But when you look at it particularly, is there one person that you're most disappointed isn't going to be in Paris?
Of course, I think everyone was really devastated to see Mo go down. She is the reigning 800-meter champion. And I think a lot of times we put people on teams before we run the races. And I think that's the tragic part about trials. It's amazing for some people, and then you have some horrible things go wrong. So I was really disappointed to see that.
Not every country, though, puts all of the weight on the trials. Some have a process that will let someone get onto the team in other ways. Are we doing it the right way in your mind?
I think we are because I think it gets tricky when you let politics come into play. It's a really, cutthroat system that we have in the US, but you are guaranteed to send a solid team. Sometimes you're going to leave somebody out, but we have so much depth that you have to have a system in place to be able to, to work that out. So, of course, in moments like this, you're like, oh, we should change the system. But we've had the system for a really long time. We've been really successful with it, and I think it's good.
One of the incredible stories would be Quincy Wilson, 16 years old, competing in the 400 meter. You made the Olympics at 18. So what advice would you give Quincy about handling this moment when you're so young?
Soak it all up. I mean, this is going to be an incredible experience for him to get this type of experience at 16 and hopefully, run on the relay. It's going to be incredible for him. We're going to hear his name for a long time to come. But he has such a fun spirit. I don't think he's going to have any trouble, doing all the Olympic things. And as he said, running those grown man times. So it's going to be fun to watch him.
It's all going to be fun to watch because if we learned anything at trials, it's as usual. There's a ton of talent here. We all can't wait to see them perform in Paris.